Welcome to the Jira Life, the place to find news, events, and interviews with the Atlassian Community's movers and shakers. Join our hosts, Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira guy Nissen, as well as the Jira Amigos in the Peanut Gallery, as we sit down and discuss the latest going on in the Atlassian ecosystem. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life, the Jira Life chose us.
Welcome. Hi. And I always forget this, so special thank you to Revice for making this episode possible.
Oh, I have a note for it, so I was going to get you if you didn't.
So, Ronnie, I heard you had a great day today.
I did, because someone wasn't there to ruin it.
Nobody told me.
I mean,
a reminder, a gentle. He sent me a link 3 minutes before, and LinkedIn. You know how many messages I get on LinkedIn from on a daily basis? I just ignore all my messages, and I finally got the email from LinkedIn at 8:11 a.m. And so that's when I went. I was like, oh, and I'm like, when is that? I thought it was in February. And I was like, when is that?
You see, it drives me crazy to have any unread messages on LinkedIn or something. So I have the exact opposite problem. I have to constantly be going in there to clear it out because it drives me crazy. So I would have seen it.
I don't. I get so many notifications when I log in the morning that I just don't check notifications until noon because I'm still catching up on yesterday's stuff.
And thus the two attitudes towards notifications.
Yeah. But for the record, I was fully awake at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Not asleep. Just nobody told me that there was an event happening.
I mean, they did. You just didn't look.
No, but they told me that there was an event happening, and I was supposed to remember a week or two later, and that doesn't work. All right, but what are we...
Yeah. Just a quick explanation for the audience. What happened was we had the Quiz Whiz with the Jira Avengers, which is me and Bob's team, versus Team Roku this morning, and Alex here was supposed to be our special guest.
I had an opportunity. We were plotting a ploy where I would sabotage your success. So I think it's for the best that I didn't show up, because I would have done everything in my power to make you not win.
I mean, I'm guaranteeing Daryl wished you did show up because it wasn't even close. I feel bad. I almost feel bad for how much we ran away with it. 71-12.
I just sometimes wonder if you guys even have a life sometimes. Probably not.
You know better.
Oh, I know you don't. But today is the day I've been waiting for 30 days.
Yeah, this was when we were putting together the plan for this season. Alex, this is one episode I want to do right away. And I think I'm probably done talking for the rest of the episode because Alex is about to run away with this topic.
What are you talking about? I'm okay. I'm okay. I'll try to share the spotlight.
So what are we talking about, Alex?
Well, you're either gonna love it, you're gonna hate it. Did we run the poll already?
We are running the poll right now.
We're running the poll, so if you're looking at the poll, it's kind of a little bit of a spoiler. If you read the title of today's video, you might even be on the spoiler, but we're finally going to take a look at the beta because it's still not public for everybody. And I totally called it, by the way. Totally called it that all the cool stuff that Atlassian announced at Team 24 on May 1st, 2024, they were going to come to fruition on or around April 7th, 2025. they always go live. That's what they did with whiteboards last year, and that's what they did with so many things two years ago. They always wait. So in beta, we got the new UI, still not available, but I predict it will be available on or around April 7th, 2025. Right before the weekend that everybody's making their way onto Team 25. But we're going to be talking about the new UI in Jira. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Because what changed, Ronnie? All of it.
All of it. Just all of it.
All of it has changed. So I don't know, Ronnie. I'm assuming you're going to want me to pull it up.
Yeah, our Jira instance doesn't have it.
Womp, womp,
for that.
womp. All right. So if you have never seen the new Jira UI, sit down, be ready. I will tell you, this is in beta, right? I want to echo that a little bit more. It's currently in beta. I don't know if they're still accepting. Atlassian did tell me that if you wanted to get this UI and you didn't want to wait for the beta to like roll over into you or get approved into the beta, that you could just get a new Jira and that it would be there. But I haven't tried it either, but that's what they told me. And otherwise, I think if you look up Atlassian Community, like Jira Beta UI, there's like a sign up sheet. And it took me like 2 or 3 weeks to get put on it. So here it is, folks, in all its glory. Basically, we're back to 2020, minus the blue on the side.
I mean, the blue on the side was a step too far, I think.
Just a bit.
So one of the first things I noticed, and I know this has huge implications for you, Alex, because you have merch based on these, the icons for the various stories and issues.
So you want to
work items.
So you want to start with the only positive thing about this UI. Awesome.
Yeah, let's start off on a good foot, and then we could go downhill from there.
So I'll go over here. I'll go to the issue type because this is the best way to look at these available. And if you're in regular Jira, if you're not in the beta, you're starting to see some of them, but you don't get all of them just yet. But these are the new icons. Gone is that horrendous, depressing gray circle one. You know which one I'm talking about? The one that defaults.
Everyone knows which one you're talking about. If they've ever created a new issue, they know.
Yeah. Gone is that. So I could physically, whoever made that call at Atlassian, if I see you at Team 25, you're getting a hug from me because that is right there. We're ready. They could have stopped there and this new UI would have been great. But no, they kept going. We got a new bug. I think this is interesting. So let me zoom in a little bit for you people that are in the back seat or old folks like Sean that need glasses. There you go. I don't have anything against gray, Sean. It's just, it was very depressing. And I don't know, it depressed the crap out of me every time I made a new issue type.
So the old bug was just a red square with a white dot.
Yeah, so my bug shirt that I have, which is a red shirt with a white circle, I got to go update that. So I like this new icon. We get a new, whatever this is going to be for, icon. Yeah, so it's just a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek, very similar. Some of these are still going to be very similar, feel very familiar. We got rid of the $ and brought in a whole bill. But I like them. I like them nonetheless. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if this is a custom one that I made or what's going on with this one, but I do know that these icons here, I don't understand why they're a little bit smaller, but I have seen them in my regular non-new Jira UI Jira. So I think you might have these. I don't know why they wouldn't have brought the rest. But overall, I like them. I like the design. I like the modernness of it. I wish that you would have just done this and brought it to the current UI, and we would have been just perfect.
Now, Alex, what is the biggest thing every time they change the UI that you have the issue with? Because I think you have the same issue I do.
So the big one right now is project. So there's a couple of stuff. How long do we have? An hour?
We do have an hour. I'm trying to keep you up so you can rant.
So the big one right now, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, is the project. So I'm used to clicking on projects and like being able to jump into my project, right? Like seeing the project list show up. That doesn't happen anymore. So I'm still on this your work page, right? And then I got the project over here. And if I want to go into the project, I still can't go into the project. I now get to go jump into the board. Like I've clicked twice now and I'm still not at my destination. And so now I got to click on the board and that's going to take you to the board. And I think I don't like that right first out of the gate because, again, it's taking me a couple of extra clicks to get to where I want to get to. That's a problem. 2, as you all see, this is very much inspired. If you've ever used Jira Work Management, which is now defunct, but if you've ever used like a work management project template, you'll notice that this UI is starting to feel a little bit more familiar. with the exception that you now see an active sprint here. But Atlassian over the last 12 months has been slowly extracting parts of work management templates into the software template. And so we've gone horizontal on this UI. But where I'm scratching my head so much is in the current work management templates, right around here, you have a nice little button that says project settings, which as an admin, spend a lot of time in there, right? And guess what's not there? The project setting button. Rodney, where do you think they put this project setting button?
I'm going to say if it's not at the bottom, which again, they should not mess with. I'll have my whole rant about that here in a second. But I'm going to say it's probably in the ellipsis next to the project.
Well, so I would have gone to this ellipsis here, right?
No, that's the board ellipsis.
Right, that's the
where
board.
Go for board settings.
But I would have thought that this ellipsis here is the board one because that's in the board. Right? You see how we're below the line? We're below that fold. I would have thought that is the board ellipsis, but that's not it. I would have thought, well, maybe they'd be like, it's under more, right? Maybe it just kept going and my screen's not too zoomed in or don't have a 20K monitor. So it'd be under more. But it's not there. I thought it'd be under the plus, but it's not there. I thought it'd be under any of these buttons, but it's not there. You know where they put it?
On the sidebar ellipsis.
All the way over here. Not in this one, because that's the same one as this one. They take you back to the project, and you got to click over there. Why in the world would they put it over there?
I've said this, and this was actually one of my issues with the first iterations of the Jira admin exam. We do so much of our daily activities via muscle memory. I don't even think where the project settings are. I just go to project, go to settings, edit what I need to add, I'm done. Moving it like this, especially so suddenly, is going to throw the productivity of every admin off for probably a good month.
Oh yeah. It's just I don't understand why they just didn't put it where they have it in work management today, right? Because when you come, I'm gonna go to oopsie, Q1. I'm gonna go to the old UI, right? And I'm gonna go into a work. Look, I click on projects, view our projects. This is what I'm used to. I'm gonna go into a company managed business, which is this what I think inspires this new UI. And I'm like, why couldn't you just left it there? It's right there, so easy.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we got to go over here and click on God knows where. The other thing that I found mildly annoying is this part, right? I'm so used to, I depend on your interaction. Let me rephrase. Your experience with Jira is largely dictated whether you're on a team managed or company managed project, right? And for me to be an expert or a consultant or just a Jira expert, and I'm coaching somebody through their pain points of Jira, I rely on this metadata, the situational awareness, to help immediately for me to understand how to craft my answers, how to craft my guidance, how do I help somebody, right? It's all determined on what this little section of the project says, right? And what I can appreciate that they finally put them together rather than looking at software on the top and the type on the bottom. It's still very hard to find.
I will say one thing though. We all know smartphones and tablets are the de facto access point for a lot of people now.
Nobody's using Jira on a tablet.
Really?
In the chat.
Really believe that?
In the chat.
Now, I will say, I don't think a developer
look, we got 8
is
people
using
in the
Jira
chat
on a
here.
tablet.
We got 8 people in the chat. If you're using Jira in a tablet, let me know.
I don't think technical
Sean's gonna be the one
using...
person. Sean's gonna be the one person where he's like, I'm using it on a tablet.
I'll meet you halfway. I don't think anyone technical is using Jira on a tablet. But I have met plenty of sales executive and marketing people who use Jira. And you better believe if they have the option of a tablet, they're using a tablet. Whether it makes sense or not, that doesn't matter to them.
I don't know, Ronnie. I think it's still a very. I don't like that part.
Sounds technical. He doesn't use tablet.
See, no tablets. Developers aren't using Jira on the UI either. Bob.
They have scripts for all that.
I know. Okay, so that's the next thing. Now, the other thing that I find mildly annoying is that the UI spreads quite a bit on you. So, for example, if I'm in the apps and I want to get to projects, well, I have to go way the heck down here. Right? Like the whole thing moved on me. And so I got to remember to collapse things so I can get back to them. I didn't really particularly appreciate that. The other thing that I didn't like is you can move this stuff or these things around. You can customize it. You can put them where you want them. Talk about muscle memory, right? And then talk about I can just see so many support tickets where this is like how they set them up. Why didn't it disappear on me, right? Like I can see so many people just like hiding things and going like, what happened to my plans? Like, how do I get to plans? And now I'm going to go, well, I don't even know if you have plans. Because plans are gone. Like, why? Why? And then this didn't, look, I put projects in the side and to hide, and it didn't hide it.
Just hide everything.
Maybe it's still buggy because it ain't hiding everything. Can you imagine though, like somebody's going to do this? Look, you're working projects. I can appreciate the cleanliness. Oh, no, it all went away. It went away. Oh, it's clean. Now where do you click on stuff? You don't mess with your navigation bar, guys.
I mean, I will give them, at least they did not move the administration cog.
That we're still in beta, Rodney. There's still time.
Did I just jinx it?
Yeah, can you imagine if they let you move these options around?
I think that would cause a revolt.
So I've been having this conversation. I wanted to get your thoughts on this, right? So I've been using ClickUp and Monday a lot over the last few weeks, as you've heard me talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm using ClickUp, it's so powerful, right? You can do so many things with ClickUp that I sometimes wish Jira can do. But my observation and my comment was, I love the structure that Jira gives you, because being able to do just about anything and everything is so overwhelming. It's so overpowered that it's really hard to master it, right? Because it can literally do anything that you want. And there's so many ways to interpret it. And even within Jira, there's a lot of ways to interpret stuff, but you still have some boundaries, right? I like to call them, like, there's still laws in Jira, right? There's rules that dictate a limit of what you can or can't do. And as foolish as it sounds, like, I love that about the tool, because it gives me comfort and safety and just like an understanding that I can hit a level of expertise with it and a level of comfort with it, because I know and understand, right? It's not just information. I have an understanding of how Jira works. I have an understanding of the limitations of the tool, and then I can provide wisdom and guidance, like expert level guidance, on a team that has a business problem that then needs a real business solution, right? Even though Jira is limiting, but I can still work with it. But with like other tools like ClickUp and like Monday, where like anything goes, I find it hard for me to kind of wrap my head around a solution, because like you can do anything. But what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think Jira is going in that direction, where it can do anything?
I mean, to a point, it's always been able to do almost anything. I mean, there are limits. Not going to disagree with you there, but there's not a whole lot of them. And if you're daring enough and willing to get into the configuration of, you could do a whole lot. And often, part of being a good consultant is not necessarily telling people what they can do, but telling people what they shouldn't do. Like, yeah, we can do this. Here's why you don't want to.
Right, but well, great case in point. I can already see how many people are going to hide things here.
Mm-hmm.
forget that they hit it, and then just complain that they hit it and they can't find it.
Or worst case scenario, they're going to leave this company. Company's going to bring some new admin in who's not familiar, and they're going to go, "Where is everything?" Because they're not even going to remember that change because it happened before they even got here.
I wouldn't have messed with that navigation bar. Is all I'm saying. I think again, being able to customize it, I get it, but when everybody has like a unique experience, it makes it really hard for people to collaborate, which I think is the irony in all this, because you want people to collaborate in these tools.
I mean, stop me if you've heard the story before, Alex. I'm sure every admin has had this story before where someone complains they're missing a field. You actually have to go to their system, because what they did was they hid it in their create screen, and you have to go show all fields. It's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, like not even going into the screen, right? Like people that come here and they do this part, right? When you switch it to this and you start deselecting checkboxes because you're trying to be cool, 6 months later, you're going to be like, where's my due date field?
and they invariably hide a required field.
But you're scrambling like, hey, it's in the screen. It's in the create screen. I see it. Bob sees it. Why don't you see it? And it's that, like, for a new Jira admin, that could be scary. But for a seasoned person like us, we've been bitten enough times to know, oh, we gotta go check that extra part of the UI.
We just know to check that first off. Oh, you're the only one who's not seeing this? We know exactly what's wrong.
Yeah, we know exactly what's wrong.
But the fact that this is still a problem that Jira admins have been facing as long as that feature exists, says where the focus is.
Well, if you like that, watch this. So in the projects, when you go into the project, you can also grab these items and move them around where you want them. Well, like this. You can click and move. Did you know that?
That's not the one that worries me.
I don't like this one either, though, because again, it's
click on timeline again and look at the bottom entry. The ellipsis on timeline.
There's an ellipsis over here. Configure your timeline.
No, on the timeline thing, the thing you were just clicking through.
Oh, this thing. Remove it.
Oh, entry at the bottom.
Why would you be able to remove stuff? Okay, wait. So this is interesting. So if I set it as default, if I set the timeline as default, and I'm back over here, and I'm trying to access my project, the access is to the board. So let's go to another one. So I'll go to the board, but if I click on the board, I'm gonna go to the timeline because that's not confusing at all. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I can make my calendar be I guess not the calendar, but I can make the backlog be the default view. And when I go the only way to access the project right now is to click on the board. So when I click on that, I'm going to be redirected to the backlog, not the board.
I mean, I could see this being good for if you set the active sprint. Because if you're in a Scrum project or a project, you kind of want to look at the active sprint.
But that's the default today.
10.
That's the default today. Why give us an option to change that? Up next, positive thing though, I do love this new summary view.
Mm-hmm.
I wish this was customizable. I wish I could change things around.
I mean, why can't this just be a dashboard?
Why can't dashboards look like this?
Also, fact.
Why can't
to be honest, when was the last time dashboards got any love?
I don't know. Maybe Atlassian should have put a little bit of thought into that versus whatever the heck they did here. Oh, Atlassian. They're going to hate us. Maybe more me. We now have a calendar
after my
view.
article last week.
The other thing that's interesting is like this whole more like the way you hide things over here on the side and can add some more stuff. Like I kind of like the old way better where you can go to the project settings and toggle features on and off. I kind of like this a little bit more because at least only certain people can do it. Now anybody can turn things on and off. Well, what else do we have here? I was struggling with this the other day. I was trying to do the apps. I was using this templating app. And the experience here is great. But again, I was trying to get back to my project and I keep going back up to the top to go to my project.
That's that muscle memory I was talking about.
And then look, right now I have no way to get back to my project. Because I hit it under more. And then it's over here. And then I can't click on my project here. Because then I gotta click to expand this. At least this button still works. Have you played with the new UI yet?
I have not had a chance. The only cloud Jira instance I'm on regularly is the TGL one, and it's, I mean, as you know, it's still on the old one.
Yeah. Couple more things that I thought were interesting. This right here has been annoying the crap out of me. This right here will hide the whole thing. But I want to like click, like I want to go into, change to Confluence or whatever. So I'm used to going to this button a lot, but right now this is on the top left corner. So that muscle memory takes me to that top left corner. And so right now I've caught myself so many times where I want to switch apps and I just end up doing this, expanding and collapsing that sidebar.
I mean, there is never enough credit given to the muscle memory. And I mean, I've even dealt with this as an admin when I've made changes to workflows. Invariably, I have that developer who, again, has that muscle memory built in from doing Jira issues all day long, get belligerently angry because I made a change and now they have to relearn their muscle memory.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is that it looks like the style has carried across like the settings, right? So these are a little bit, I think the old UI is a little bit more like grayish, or maybe it's just my eyes, maybe not indented. There we go. See how they're tabbed in?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a little bit nicer. So it's not all bad, but I'm still not very happy. What is this?
I mean, it does make it clear that what categories different pages on the settings belong to.
Did you know there's a new issue search?
Did not know this. Wonder if this has anything to do with Rovo.
Everyone can search with improved keyboard accessibility. Everyone can search for issues without hassles.
Does it mean they're getting rid of our JQL?
There's a new JQL editor. Oh shoot, let's go take a look. Because we've taken the old JQL editor, modernized it, and added some new features as well. You can now seamlessly build powerful searches using JQL to dive deep into data, create tailored views of issues for dashboards, and more. The new JQL editor validate syntax fast, and highlight errors with detailed information on how to fix them.
But didn't the old one do that?
Edit a status without opening an issue. Let's try it out. Let's find JQuil. Okay, now they freaking switch this from the left to the right. It just doesn't end.
Again, muscle memory.
It doesn't end. I
think Matt has the best summary of our conversation so far.
Muscle memory. You know what?
Not all bad, but I'm still not happy.
Here's what I think. I got a thought here. I suspect, and I would love to be proven wrong, that Atlassians don't use Jira internally as much as we think they do.
I mean, I know certain people in Atlassian do use it extensively.
Okay. Then those people are not on the board that controls these movements of buttons.
The people I know that don't, I know definitely aren't on those boards. but I know they're fairly public figures and would at least have some feedback.
Because again, that muscle memory, right? That experience. I get that you want to improve things. Like it totally makes sense. But boy, are you messing with everybody that uses Jira a lot. Right? Like you and I are being impacted the most because we spend an unhealthy amount of time in this tool.
Mm-hmm. But even basic users, I can imagine admins' inboxes or even their desk the day this rolls out to their instance.
I don't want to be a Jira admin near you when that happens. Maybe it's also Atlassian's way of just ensuring that IT folk or Jira admins have a job for at least another 6 months. As they field all these new tickets of like, where did my projects go? Now, I wonder, can you hide a Jira project from your view?
Does not look like it.
Hey, look at this. I hope that this button here is only visible to people that have the right permission to add people without going into the project settings.
I'm guaranteeing it does. Just like the project settings, I'm pretty sure if you don't have permissions, you either A, will not be able to see it, or B, when you do click it, it'll give you a big fat error.
I'd be very curious to try it.
I have this already. We could talk tomorrow, but I have something for this. Sean saying, need to construct an interview task that tests muscle memory.
Freaking Atlassian. Messing with us. And then not to mention the fact that they moved the create button over to the side. But I can see, right? I think so.
The create button's over to the side. It's on the other side of the search bar, but it's not as egregious as some of these other changes because it's the only big blue button on the entire screen.
Well, so let's talk about that for a second, though, right? Because if we look at the top, right now, Atlassian wants you to create, right? This tells me that Atlassian, when I don't know, I'm not a design or what do they call it?
UI UX engineer.
I'm not a UI UX engineer. I probably shouldn't be because I make a horrible one. But this to me tells me, right, because it's front and center and it's the only blue thing up there. Like, forget the fact that there's blue buttons over here. If you're in a regular view like this, your eyes are attracted to the one color that you see, which is this icon and this blue button. There's not a whole lot of color happening in Jira, right? So naturally, I'm thinking Atlassian UX team was trying to encourage us to gravitate towards this create button. But over here, 60% of the screen is a search. So I'm thinking they want us to now gravitate towards the search. Right?
But it's new and fancy, don't you know?
Don't you know? Or so I've been told. But I wanted to take a second there to kind of talk a little bit about like where search is going, right? It makes you wonder how much time is spent by an individual user looking for things in Jira versus creating things in Jira.
I know one of the biggest complaints I've had, especially from project managers and scrum masters, is it takes too long, especially to create issues in bulk. And they've done some things to alleviate that, but hardly enough. So I'm thinking it may not be as big as people think it is, just because it is such an arduous task for creating issues.
But here's still where I'm going with this, right? So I kind of feel like they're setting us up for that revolution.
I like that revolution.
Dude, we better trademark that before Atlassian.
I would be surprised if it's not
I
already.
know. Hashtag revolution. Revolution.
Jensen,
The
are you
Roblox
listening?
communities. Starting the revolution. All right, Lassin. We came up with it first. He can't have it. So anyways, I'm thinking that they're setting this up for that revolution where when you're searching, now you're just naturally going to... I predict that Atlassian's going to move to a model where you just ask of Atlassian and things are presented to you, regardless of where they're at.
I mean, we already saw this with Atlassian Intelligence where you just ask what you want and it'll generate the JQL for you.
Right. But this is across the tools, the products, which is more on the Robo side than it is at Atlassian Intelligence. Well, it's more on the, remember, MKB he spent a lot of time talking about how they restructured their architecture.
You mean MCB?
That dude. Yeah, that one. But they spent an amount of time like on stage talking about how they were like re-architecting their search so that all the tools can then talk to each other.
Yeah.
Where you can search across. So I can see this being a benefit, but that's super interesting because here's where I think Atlassian still has a way to go, right? Searching for stuff in Jira is cool. But more people care for the metric than they do for the item. That makes sense?
When I'm helping people, usually one of the first things, especially new teams that Jira ask, is how can I get my reports? How can I get my metrics? And again, this is why I still don't fully understand why it's been so long since dashboards have had a proper look over.
Well, we got a new UI update.
Ooh, we still have the same basic gadgets we had in Jira 4 on server.
All right. Test new dashboard UI. They couldn't have made improvements here. I like that you at least go into the new dashboard. I've seen it where sometimes you don't go into these new things. Yep, same one since Jira 4, as Rodney says. Come on, man. You gotta love that workload pie.
I mean, I'll get you. There are some marketplace partners that are doing some amazing things with dashboard gadgets. And I love that. I love all the stuff they add. But the basic stuff we get from Atlassian has not been touched. Other than functionality, make sure it still works the way we expect.
Mm-hmm. This is an interesting call that Atlassian did here. So in this navigation, they took the recents and they took the starred, which live nested in your work, and took it out. I wonder why they did that.
Maybe to make it more readily apparent. I know being able to start projects is a long time wish list for me because I'd always go to like the same 3 or 4 projects to do my work, and I don't have to go find them, especially if I've been on other projects helping other people all day and then go back and find my projects to update things.
No, I get that, but like, I don't know, if you're on your work, I guess maybe because they had to make room for all this JSM stuff over here. I don't know. Like, I just feel like this was okay for me. I don't see why. I don't see why they had to take up real estate for this. Just like, how many people are looking up your recent stuff? I guess maybe it's common.
I do it fairly regularly. What was that issue I was working on yesterday?
All right. Well, are there any other positive things that we can talk about this UI? Oh, we didn't try the JQL. Let's try the JQL.
Yeah, we kind of got sidetracked.
Well, what's the cool thing about JQL? Like, what new like did they give us new functions?
I mean, let's just start with project equals and build a typical JQL string and see what project.property.
Is that not a thing?
Not unless it's an add-on.
End of the month. I do have a lot of add-ons. This is where I do all my.
I mean, I was noticing. That's why I'm not guaranteeing it's not. And that sounds like it
No,
would be a
it's there.
project track kind of thing.
It's there. In the one that you can't put add-ons. What does this current login do? Project.property does not support property project.property.
I mean, current login seems like it would be a timestamp for you like issues created during current login.
Funny, they got rid of the hamburger thing. You know how many people I told them to click on the hamburger on the Big Mac?
And they got rid of it on you.
It doesn't look like a Big Mac anymore. Oh,
I mean, what are you going to tell them? Click on the Excel sheet?
Switzerland flag?
I think that's more Finland than Switzerland.
Finland? The Finnish flag? You know what Atlassian could have done? They could have let us do more than 1,000 issues on the imports and bulk changes and stuff.
I think there's technical reasons behind that limit.
They could have done something.
As in, I've updated it before, and I've had people kill Jira trying to push extra large changes through. Got to be young.
Hey, Sarah's here.
Sarah's been here.
Oh, I haven't looked that far down. And then, of course, they want me to upgrade. This is a new update. It tells you you've invited 3 and how many gigabytes you've used. I'm going to continue with limits. What do you think, Miss Sarah? What's your favorite or least favorite part of this UI? I kind of walked through most of the problems that I see.
Right. So I missed part of it. And I had to, I'm not even ready to be on here today. I still got my bag from coming in from the parking lot. But I needed to come out here and make my case.
We have a comment.
Not necessarily for like what's good or bad, but that you just got to keep all those other use cases in mind, Fred, because it is always frustrating as an admin in these programs to navigate, and not to navigate per se, but like the things that we're doing are not the things that 99% of the people are doing inside of Jira. And so it's really frustrating for us, but for the end users, not as much. Rodney, go.
I mean, yes, I hear you, and I agree with you. Hashtag I believe Sarah. But they are changing things that are user-facing too.
Yes.
So my point was, look, as bad as you have it, you're going to have it even worse when this hits your users and you have all of them complaining.
Totally agree.
But we might be overblowing this out of proportion, though. Let's talk about Atlassian changed like in 2020, 2021 from that hideous blue sidebar to what we now have grown to love and appreciate, this one. So this isn't the first time
Atlassian might be a strong word. Tolerate. I was never a fan of this UI either.
This is why I was asking, or this is why I'm bringing it up, right? When Atlassian moved to this UI, I was relieved because this UI was reminiscent of the server UI that I appreciated a lot. And so this isn't the first time that Atlassian changes UIs, but this is definitely a time where things just don't feel natural again. So I'm kind of curious. 3 years ago, the Jira Life didn't exist, but what did people think? Like, do you remember anybody talking about the UI changes 3-4 years ago?
I remember some of it. The TLDR of it being, oh my God, this is hideous. What are you doing to my eyes?
So I guess that's to say Atlassian knows that we're going to complain and moan about this, but at the end of the day, we're going to suck it up and just live with it.
Well, I mean, I remember early Facebook, like when they first introduced the feed that is pretty much their main interface now. people railed against that. Oh my God, I can't believe the stalker feed. Everyone's just going to know whatever I'm doing. All this stuff about it. And not even a month later, when they made changes to it, we had the very same people that are complaining about it existing were complaining about the changes they were making. I'm like, wait, I thought you didn't like it.
And we're so conditioned now. Sorry if I cut you off there, but we're so conditioned now to have constant UI changes, right? But especially like with streaming services is my thing, right? Because if I'm not looking at this screen, I'm looking at a screen with picking out what shows to watch. And the good news on those is those are usually more minor tweaks, but then sometimes something comes along and you're like, oh, and you shake your fist at it. And then to your point, right, a week later, you're, oh, because they took it away.
Yeah. Or they modified it again or whatever.
Wait, so what's a good...
People are going to complain about this for about a good month solid, and then they're going to get used to it, and no one's ever going to speak about it again, except when they change it next time, and we're like, oh, you remember when we did that show back in 2025?
But a couple of things. One, I was genuinely excited when I saw the new UI on May 1st, 2024. I don't know why I hate it so much now.
I think it's seeing it versus using it.
I guess. And
I
two,
mean, it's one thing to see something go, oh, they're finally updating it. Maybe you have hope. You have positive feelings that, hey, maybe they'll get this right. They'll knock this out of the park. Because let's face it, the UI, one of the main criticisms I hear from the I Hate Jira crowd is the UI is straight out of 2012.
Yep.
So let's not pretend it didn't need updating. And I think that's where you were coming from when they made this announcement back last year was, hey, they're finally doing this. We're finally getting updated UI. Awesome. Now that you actually use it, they're like, yeah, it's updated, but is this actually better?
I appreciate it, but I wish they would have kept a couple of things in their spot. I can appreciate the aesthetics of it. The functionality is still all there, but why move buttons around that much? The buttons that are used a lot, like that project settings, we use that so much.
I mean, I agree with you, and I've been railing about it this entire episode about muscle memory and how important it is in what people do on a daily basis. But I'm also realistic in the fact that I'm going to complain about it and will complain about it. I'm not going to say I won't for about a month, and I'm going to get used to it, and then it's never going to be a thought again until I change it the next time.
So I've been playing with this since before Christmas, and I ain't getting used to it, man.
But you're still also going back to the old UI. You're not using this solid.
Okay, so then that's the new question. How long is it going to be for everybody to be on this new UI? Because as you know, admin.atlassian.com has like 3 versions of it.
That's a good question we can't answer.
10,000 hours.
10,000.
Oh, well, videos, right?
The next question I have is, then is it going to be like another 4 years before Atlassian, so don't get too married or attached? What was that line from Iron Man 2? Like, don't get attached.
You know, Bob's the Marvel expert here.
Bob, help us out. The guy with the bird, he wants his bird. Don't get attached. The guy that's hacking into Hammer Industries computers. The bad guy, the villain. Here you go.
Matt brings up a good point.
Yeah.
And I forgot about this.
When they went from Jira to Jira.
Shut up. Don't even call it Jira. Okay.
They went from all caps Jira to just Jira.
Wait, there was an all caps Jira?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Jira used to be in all caps.
Wow.
Add this to that thing of things that Alex just learns, right?
I'm curious who sits there at Atlassian though, like, because like I would love to see how an idea is like presented at Atlassian and then go, yeah, this is a good idea.
Well, Atlassian, if they do one thing, they rebrand. I can't think of anything other than the core products of Jira and Confluence that hasn't had a name change. And let's face it, there's arguments there between Jira Software, Jira Work Management. No, they're really just Jira now. All those have had name
Atlas
changes
is
too.
just goals now, right? Atlas just became goals.
Mm-hmm.
We all got emails.
Everything eventually will get rebranded at Atlassian because that's one of the things they do to try and keep things feeling fresh.
What the hell happened to my goals?
They were, yeah.
I think they're in the project. They're in the project.
Did you run
Which-
out of
Yeah, they
room?
are.
Well, where
Which-
are you now?
Well, see, I'm in the filters because this thing. That's what I was telling Rodney, that it pushes things down on you. Before, when
Gotcha.
you open something up, it just pops it up, right? It's like a little moto. But here, when you go to filters, it pushed everything down. Like my projects are below my filters. So if I have 150 filters, we're gonna be
That
scrolling.
phase.
I love that.
That pace.
If I have 200 and
Sarah
something,
does not approve.
and then Sarah, you're presented with the project here.
Yeah.
And so do you click on the project and you don't go into the project, you then have to click on the board, which then lands me in the backlog because I can change my default view now. And it doesn't have to be the,
What's our menu there right next to that? Sorry, back on your left panel, the ... menu.
This one
On your
here?
board. One down.
this
window.
one.
Yeah.
This is to start the board. Could you do that before?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is to
Okay, star that because I want to know also where your stars go.
there's a start section now that is part of the navigation.
Okay, so you can start anything that's just anything you've starred is there.
Yeah, it used to be part of the your work
Yeah.
and under boards.
Like all individual, yeah.
Yeah, but not anymore. Now it's
mean-
its own start section.
I don't mind that, having all my start items in one place,
So you have 1,000 start items.
which I will.
So, and there again, right, is that little tweak, I think, between the admin, right, who's hopping around lots of places, and then the other person who's like, I only go here ever.
So what happens when I have like 10 boards? Let's create another board in this project.
Then you go into
Wait.
advanced roadmaps.
How do I wait? How do I create a new board?
You call yours your admin. Totally kidding.
No,
Maybe
no,
click
I'm
the
not.
summary.
No,
No,
I know,
no,
you're right.
For real,
Right?
because
Because boards create board.
no. Like, I go to the board and there's a create board button that allows me to create a new board. Where is my create board button in here?
What's your
Is it
under
the
more?
addition sign on the side?
No, the addition sign on the side lets me add more functions to the navigation.
Okay, and then your more.
This is more functions, more
More
apps
is
and stuff.
more. Lacey says the plus sign.
Next to the project, next this one here. Okay.
Shut the
Why would
front
they
door.
put that there? That is so unintuitive.
So
So
what
much
happens when we
unlearning to
do add
do.
more?
Why? Okay, so fine. Let's just create another board just for the heck of it. Okay, this is a colorful UI.
Branding.
Choose what to include. Oh, what is this? Too many
Alex's
options.
issues.
Too many options for the end user here.
I mean,
Okay, so-
is it though?
Okay, so you're just gonna be able to see the boards. Okay, cool.
That's a little more forgivable.
Yes and no, but I think I like this though because when you're in here and you have multiple boards, a lot of people don't know to click on the caret to see all the extra boards.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So at least
here's my
now they'll
question.
know.
What happens with a board that pulls in from multiple projects? Because let's not pretend that's not a thing.
Well, let's
Well,
do that
don't
right.
boards already like they already exist? You already have to associate them with a project. But wasn't there something about non-project
You
boards?
can create a multi-project board. I've done it before.
You can
What
create a
is this?
multi-project board, but I thought it still had to be associated with a project. And then I saw something starting to go down a path of non-project specific boards,
Wait,
like
What
personal
is-
boards.
what is this? They changed all this. Look, this.
We only got 5 minutes left.
Okay,
Come back in 13 weeks when we do UI Deep Dive 2.
Wait. Okay, so in the active sprints, if I click on these ellipses within the board, because I'm actually in the board right now, I cannot.
Ooh, what's Epic Sum Up?
That's just an app that a plugin that I have,
Oh darn!
right?
I
But
need that.
but hold up. But then if I click these three dots, then I get the board settings, and I can do some board settings there, right? But if I click on the original board, and I click on the three dots over here, I do have a configure board.
Okay.
But now I don't. Oh wait. Yeah, but now this is like
It
not
overtakes
intuitive.
everything.
Yeah, this wasn't intuitive they removed the whole thing.
Yeah, it's this swappy left panel, right? The drawers on the left panel. Like you basically opened a drawer, but you didn't feel like you were opening a drawer because it needs the little indicator icon that says, I'm going to go over here, like they have in JSM.
You know why they did this? They did this too. Okay, and then they didn't fix this part. I still have to. Okay, whatever. Let's go put more projects in here.
Projects led by user is interesting.
This is a new one.
Yeah. Can you
All right.
feed projects led by user the current user function? Show me everything currently led by me.
Where do I put it? Doesn't open up to.
It's just under current user.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
supposed
not.
to be lowercase c.
Yeah, but it didn't pop anything up. Oh, great. Now I missed. This is why I'm not a programmer. All right. I got 3 projects in here. Where's my save button?
You gotta search first, so
Is this not, this is my, I made this. Okay, I have to hit search. Why isn't it blue now? There we go.
as I said, you have to search first before you can save that search.
But it's blue in the old UI, and it naturally gravitates me to go hit the dumb button. Now it's not blue. I wasn't thinking of hitting the search.
Because they used too many colors elsewhere. They had to minimize that color now.
Okay, so we see Sarah's Infinite. So my SIP board is pulling in from multiple places. And then...
Because it lives in that project, though.
Why did they do this? Okay, this one. So this doesn't expand because it's a work management project. It's a business project.
Yeah, that's work management.
But it won't expand to show you the board.
Because it's just a board. Can you have more than one view board
There's
in a
no
work
plus,
management?
No, because there's no plus button on this one.
Right. So it's just that.
But the background is Ronnie's computer.
Yeah, that's when I did the new case.
Yeah. See, Ronnie, you will forever live in my memory. But I did pick another project, so I can't remember the filter.
By the way, are we going to hit give feedback and just put the URL for this episode?
Yes.
Atlassian, put it back, please. All in prep. Okay, let's look at that one. So I got another project called All in Prep. That one's a Scrum board. That one just shows me the Al board.
Not the new board.
But not the new board. But then the board only lives in one. So I think this is okay though. I would expect this to be the case because the location is still just this project. Even though I'm pulling in issues from the other one.
I see that as a problem because I have clients that have projects to pull from multiple projects that need to be able to see it from whatever project they happen to be in because it impacts all those projects.
This is okay. We'll close with this, guys. Check this out. So I'm in the backlog view, and when I click on these ellipses here, I can configure the board. But when I'm in the board view and I click on the ellipses, I can't configure the board.
Is it because it has an active sprint?
But it doesn't matter. I'm in the board view. This is not a board view. Why would I configure the board when the board is here?
Fun.
All right. With that said, we'll see you all in a month. I'm gonna go.
when we've found all. Okay, there is a ACE event I saw that I just signed up for talking about the new UI, and I'm hoping it comes with like, and here's your kit for change management.
Alex, I think you're muted.
I'm thinking Atlassian's gonna kick me out of Team 25 when they see this video.
I mean, are we able to share your surprise yet?
No, but I'm gonna go over to Monday.com. You can find me as I will start making videos on Monday.com.
Dr. Monday.
Actually, for a whooping like $1 million, you can buy Friday.com. I have a friend and I have been thinking about doing this.
Nice.
I'll tell my buddy we should just do it like not Monday.com.
I'm with William Kennedy, hugging the APIs tighter, man, because that's what I was thinking. I'm like, we just need next. We need pick your UI. What is your persona? Here's your UI.
I mean,
I know,
there's
right?
been
Like
times where I've just used Jira exclusively from my IDE.
Yep.
Oh, Atlassian, I love you.
So everyone, if you're watching this video, if you're listening to the podcast and you're safe to do so, please leave a comment on what your favorite thing about the new UI is.
Or least favorite.
I mean, apply the appropriate amount of sarcasm to favorite depending on how you feel.
Wait, what?
Next,
do we get to see the results of the poll?
We do. So I started running a poll. What do you think of the new UI? We have 8% of the people responding saying, love it. Finally, my eyes can rest. 25% of the people saying, burn it with fire. Sean, I think, had the best quote about this. If fire is an option, always go with fire. 42 said, man, I expected more pizzazz. And another 25% that said, it's okay. Changes scare me.
I'm going to go with fire.
But if you please share your opinions about the new UI, we definitely want to hear what you think. Next week, we're going to have Peter and Dan from talk about the Atlas Camp. They were on a few weeks ago to talk about some of the changes that are coming to Forge and Connect apps. So we're going to see what was revealed at Atlas Camp from them. Happy they're able to come on and share it with us. But this is Alex, Sarah, and Rodney. And as we always say, we didn't choose the Jira Life. Jira Life chose us. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Revice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Jira Life. Our hosts are Alex, Dr. Jira Ortiz, and Rodney, the Jira Guy, Nissen. You can find Alex on YouTube at 8Tech Tutorials, and Rodney's blog is found over at thejiraguy.com. Our producers are Robert King Bob Wen and Lina Ortiz. You can catch us live as we record this podcast every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at The Jira Life. Be sure to join us and our other Jira Amigos of the Peanut Gallery every week to ask your questions, let us know your comments, and just tell us what you're up to. But if you can't join us live, you can still catch the replay over on YouTube. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're watching. We're also available as a podcast over on Apple iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you listen to it and think it deserves a rating, we would very much appreciate it, as it will help others discover the Jira Life. Because we didn't choose the Jira Life. The Jira Life chose us.